All right, it is August 12th, just 1 week now to the main event, Leadville 100. This time next week, I'll be over 4.5 hours into the race. I will have met my crew once at Outward Bound, hopefully, and be making my way steadily to the next time I shall meet them, which will be at Twin Lakes. But, as always, we get ahead of ourselves. So I've just seen Claire off. She is running the Run for the Rockies half marathon here in Frisco today. So I'm taking the opportunity. I'm going to come out for just a 1 hour run myself to be back in time to watch her coming in at approximately 10:30 this morning. All right, let's recap the week that has just gone by. So if you remember, I had done a beautiful recce from Leadville out to Turquoise Lake at the end of the last episode. That was last Thursday. So on Friday, Claire and I went back out. We parked in May Queen and we did the section from May Queen back around Turquoise Lake, heading back towards Leadville and back again. So that section is now complete to and from the first aid station, May Queen. I did take my GoPro on that run. So 5.5 miles from May Queen back to where I stopped yesterday. What would I say about the course? First couple of miles are very lumpy and undulating, but then you get to a recreational area where after that I would say the path is fairly smooth. Still though, that's only about 2 miles to here. But all good. All right, we're going to run on a little further.
I got ahead of Dave just for a few minutes and said I'd take a snap of him coming down here. Nice flat section, beautiful.
Oh, fancy meeting you here. So my takeaway from today's recce is that coming out of May Queen on the return leg, it is a net uphill for a couple of miles and it is very broken up. Probably won't notice it on the outward leg because it'll be a net downhill and you'll be full of beans. So yeah, I had been told it was flat all the way to May Queen, so I'm glad I did the recce, because definitely on the way back it's very technical coming out of May Queen for about 4 miles and then it's very runnable after that. So good to know. So then on Saturday, having had 2 relatively long days of recceing up in Leadville, I had planned to take a rest day, but Claire wanted someone to run with her out on the bike path because having seen the bear the week before, she was still a little bit nervous. So I went out with her and thankfully we saw a moose very early on in the trail and that was the end of the run really. So it just ended up being 3.3 miles I think, so happy days. So in Frisco here we are at 9,200 feet, but on Sunday last we dropped down to 7,200 feet to Evergreen because Claire was running a race there also, as she ran the 10k. Can't remember the name of it, put it up here on the screen somewhere, but she placed in her age category as well, so there was an award ceremony, so it was great to be able to get a snap of that.
Way to go, Claire!
And she had a great old time. And after that we hopped in the car and we headed up to Mount Evan, which is a 14,000 foot mountain. 14,000 footers are very well known here in Colorado. It's a big thing to go and try and bag, you know, as many 14,000 foot mountains as you can. So I bagged my first one. All right, full disclosure, it is one of those mountains that you can pretty much drive right up to the summit. So we drove up and had maybe no more than 100 foot, and I'm probably exaggerating even at that, from the parking lot up to the peak. But we were glad we got up there because the visibility was terrible. On the way up, and even at the checkpoint going in, because it's a national park, the person checking us said, I don't think you're going to see anything, you're probably better off turning around, coming back another day. but we took our chances and got above the clouds eventually. And as you can see, we got some beautiful views. And to top it all off, the place was littered with mountain goats and longhorn sheep. So our stamp book of animals we've seen is filling up. Black bear, moose, longhorn sheep, mountain goat. Just need a mountain lion or a bobcat or something now and we're all good. Okay, so on Monday I was keen to get back to the task at hand, so I drove back up to May Queen, keen to continue my journey outward bound on the Leadville course. And probably it's easier if I let my earlier self explain what I did. Here we go. Alright, having recce'd from May Queen to Leadville and from Leadville to May Queen, which is the first aid station, I'm now here just a little further along the road in this parking lot, Timberline Lake Trailhead. It's just about a mile from May Queen, heading out along the Leadville course, and the intention today is to do about 15 miles. It will take me up over Sugarloaf or Powerline, which I'm excited to see because it's one of the cruxes of the race. Apparently on the return you're about 80 miles in and that hill just is an absolute killer, so I'm excited to see that. So let's go take a look. A little over a mile from the car park. It has been a net uphill course from there and pretty broken up. This is smooth by comparison to what has gone already. So I think I'll be walking good sections of it, but there's also good runnable sections in between. Okay, let's keep going. Also, forgot to put on my contact lenses today, so it's glasses, but we're in shade, so who cares. So after 1 3/4 miles from the car park, we come onto this gravel road. A lot of mountain bikers out wrecking as well. Their race is next Saturday. Hey guys. So a little over a mile on that nice, smooth, slightly uphill trail, which I think I'm going to have to run. You do a hairpin turn onto this, it's kind of more broken up, and I probably will walk this. This hill is killing me because under normal circumstances it's very runnable. So will I run it on race day? I'm not sure. We're only going to be about what, 16 miles into the race. If I have my poles and I'm marching quickly, will people be running that much faster? Am I saving more energy? Oh, it's a head scratcher. I have to keep my ego in check as well because I'm sure there's going to be people running it. But I'll just have to tell myself 50% of these people are not going to finish. They're the stats. Almost impossible to see, but that little fella is a pika. Yep, a long descent down Powerline. It's going to be a nightmare on the way back. Okay, at the bottom of the Powerline descent, you take a right onto a paved road, traffic road we'll call it. I'm just walking a little bit along to get an idea of where it goes, but I'm conscious I can come back another day and actually drive this, so I'm not going to take it too far. What are we at now? 8.81 miles, so I think that's enough for today. Almost, that's enough. Powerline is unbelievably steep coming back up in this direction. It's going to be a tough one after you've 80 miles in your legs, but you just got to grind it out. So that's me at the top of the Powerline ascent from the other side. Thoughts? Definitely let distance be your guiding star, because there's a lot of false summits, particularly where it summits and then it drops down and you think you're descending, but they're pretty short-lived. So I'm at 3.9 miles now, and this is the point at which I know I'm going down. It did level out there and there was a bit of running, but really this is the high point, and now all roads lead to May Queen. Let's go! Okay, so another very successful recce. Delighted to have had the opportunity to go up and down Powerline twice. Very steep on the ascent from the other side, so that's going to be the return, so that's something to know. Definitely the distance in the head. On this side it's all about patience not running those hills that are runnable under normal circumstances, but keeping your powder dry for the miles that are runnable later on. Okay, I gotta head back to the ranch. I'm gonna have my Sambos en route this time. I'm under time pressure. So yeah, as I mentioned, that was another super valuable recce. Really glad to get that one under the belt. Superb. So on Tuesday then, I didn't do anything because that run on the Monday was a little bit longer than I had anticipated, and let's not forget, I am in the taper here, so I just want to ease off the mileage as much as I can. So on Wednesday, again, I just wanted to take it pretty easy, so I just hopped on the bike path and I took it out towards Breckenridge and back. Maybe about 6 miles, maybe a little bit more. I'll throw it up on the screen. So on Wednesday, what I also realised is I didn't want to do the amount of mileage that would be required to do out and backs of the entire course in order to see it all. So on Thursday, Sharon and Glenn were kind enough to drive me up to Twin Lakes, and we all walked down and took a look at the river. Alright, first glimpse of the river that would be passed after Twin Lakes aid station, which is here behind me, before we go up over Hope Pass for the first time. Just wanted to come down and take a look at it before I head back in the other direction, towards outward bound. Okay, good to see, more money in the bank. And after that, this is what happened. Alright, I'm here in the small town of Twin Lakes. Plan today is to head back in the direction of Leadville, as though I've just come across Hope Pass for the second time, and I'm going to do about 14 miles to the outward bound aid station. Let's go. So straight away I'm onto a pretty steep climb, which will obviously be a steep descent on my way towards Twin Lakes on my outward voyage. We will almost certainly scratch that. We will certainly be walking this hill, but I believe after this there's some good runnable terrain. Levels out, but still quite undulating down through the woods. Whoopah! Little streamy in Bjog. Nice view down over the Twin Lakes as I continue to climb. Alright, after 2.85 miles of almost continuous climbing, we cross a nice new bridge, and I think we should be starting to descend shortly. Let's go find out. The thing I'm learning about the Leadville course is that it's sneaky. It makes you think you're on a descent because it gives you these long enough descends before it starts climbing again, every now and then. Beautiful descent after the climb finally finished. Just a nice gradient for just falling on down the hill. This is very, very nice indeed. So I didn't get to do a wrap up on Thursday because I'd also trialed out the WhatsApp location sharing element of their app. So the guys knew exactly where I was. I told them that I wanted to do about 14 miles, but I ended up doing 15.3, so they met me on the road and picked me up. I was ready to go at that stage. Feeling okay, feeling fine really, but didn't want to put more mileage in. As I mentioned, taper, right? But big takeaway from that run on Thursday was so much running ground. After the climb out of Twin Lakes on the return, I believe until you get to the power line climb, you're going to be running somewhere in the region of, I'd say 15 miles. Continuous, relatively straightforward running. Okay, you'll have 1 or 2 aid stations in between, but as regards the ground underfoot, very runnable. So again, keep your powder dry. Yeah, so what that recce did for me really is give me great confidence that I've now checked out the course from Leadville town all the way out to Twin Lakes, which is mile 37.9 on the way out. So I want to just pick up that last 13 miles. So tomorrow we're going to do a day hike, the 4 of us, myself, Claire, Sharon and Glenn, from the Twin Lakes region up Hope Pass from this side. And when I say this side, I mean the Leadville side, One observation was that I probably did take a little bit too much food, so I did start to feel a bit queasy. But what I had purchased was some ginger chews. I took one of those based on recommendations that one of you had given me, and I do think it settled my stomach a little, so you can bet your bottom dollar they'll be with me on race day. Yesterday, Friday, I was on this very same bicycle path because I didn't want to run after the long run on Thursday, so Claire and I took a cycle over to Dillon. Out and back, I think it was about 12, maybe 13 miles, but on mountain bikes, and I tried to, you know, not put too much tension in the muscles, so it was very nice. Which brings us to today, Saturday, T-minus 1 week. So as I said, my plan is to do about 6, although if I turn around now I'll have already done over 6, so better turn around, don't want to miss Claire coming in at the end of our half marathon. Alright, overall feeling very good, feeling fit, healthy, a couple of small niggles, but that's to be expected. Yeah, T-minus 1 week. A little bit more wrecking to do. I want to pick up that section between Twin Lakes and Winfield in some manner or form, but between Twin Lakes and Winfield is Hope Pass, which is 12,600 meters. I don't want to put too much elevation in my legs with only 1 week to go, particularly since we're going over Hope Pass tomorrow, so see how we do. It might take the mountain bike up. Anyway, that's it for this week, guys. I do plan to put another video up next Friday, just telling you how the final week has gone prior to the race on Saturday, show you my packing. I'm meeting up with Tom, the guy who's done the race 16 times, on Wednesday evening, just to talk through some of the final logistics. So far it's all looking good, touch wood. All right, let's go do this thing, guys. All right, let's head back the road. Let's go. Here she comes. Go, Claire! You go, girl! Hey! That's it, take it home! Boom!
That's Claire finishing the half marathon in 2:23:11. 2:23:11 for Claire.
Well done. Give a kiss.
7:07.